Tonight, a trial date is set for the man who welcomed the Queen of Canada to Richmound. Cases of Dutch elm disease are on the rise in Regina. And flash flooding after another town is overwhelmed by a storm.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Trial dates for the owner of the former school in Richmound that the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada resided in for nearly 2 years has been set for next year. Sierra D'Souza Butts has the details today from court.
Although the charges against the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada have been dropped, the man who owned the property that allowed she and her followers to reside in will go to trial in January 2027. Ricky Mans is facing 3 charges: failing to comply with the release order condition, intimidation of a justice system participant, and failure to comply with an undertaking condition. He is also facing 7 additional charges relating to previous incidents, including assaults, resisting arrests, mischief, uttering threats, and obstructing municipalities. Mans allowed the group's leader, Romana Didulo, and her followers to reside at the former school in Richmound for almost 2 years. Saskatchewan RCMP arrested a total of 16 people in September of 2025, seizing imitation semi-automatic handguns, ammunition, and electronic devices during the search of the group's compound. Didulo was charged with 1 count of failing to comply with undertaking conditions and intimidating a justice system participant. However, her charges were stayed by the Crown earlier this year, a month before a preliminary inquiry was scheduled to take place. As for Mans, the Crown and defense have agreed to set his 4-day trial from January 5th to 8th, 2027 here at Swift Current Provincial Court. He is not in police custody as he awaits his next court appearance. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Swift Current.
Well, it was back in 1981 when a tree in Regina was found to be suffering from Dutch elm disease, spread by the elm bark beetle. Since then, the city has been monitoring the disease, telling residents not to bring home firewood from campsites or cabins. But despite all the measures, cases are on the rise. Mick Favel has more.
A tree planted sometime in the 1960s being cut down due to Dutch elm disease. It's one of 26 infected trees confirmed in the city of Regina so far this year.
We are seeing it everywhere, but we do have more elms centrally located, so we are seeing more cases in the central area.
Cases of Dutch elm disease have been on the rise since 2024, when numbers jumped to 84, up from 24 cases the previous year. In 2025, there were 87 confirmed cases. This year is on pace with last year's numbers. Jim Hunter is the one who called the city about the infected tree, with more being found nearby.
They cut one down this morning, and then just going to the south from our corner here, there was another tree cut down this morning. So this seems to be the one that's got all the publicity, but it's the 3rd tree cut down.
Depending on the size, it costs the city between $1,000 and $10,000 to cut down a single tree. The disease is spread by an elm bark beetle. Provincial regulations state elm wood cannot be stored, used, or transported for any purpose. Trees struck with the disease can be identified by their leaves.
You will see a flagging on, it starts on one limb and kind of works its way up where the leaves will wilt and brown, but they'll hang on to the tree. The city crews will then take a sample and submit it to the provincial lab.
The city of Regina says the yearly numbers of trees being impacted by Dutch elm disease will likely stay the same going forward. Residents are being asked to call the city if they suspect a tree may be carrying the disease. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
The Saskatchewan NDP kicked off its rural tour this week with a stop in Balgony. The opposition is aiming to tick off all the boxes when it comes to rural communities in the province. NDP MLA Jared Clark says that the party now has 26 members in the legislature. They now have the ability to cover all corners of the province and have face-to-face conversations with the public about pressing issues like health care.
People are feeling frustrated, and so we are going into these communities, and we are, as part of this tour, going into many communities across the province in rural Saskatchewan to listen, to have conversations about what could fix healthcare in their communities and build a plan that's going to deliver those things.
Clark adding that people in rural Saskatchewan communities have also brought up concerns about the new funding model for $10 a day childcare introduced recently by the provincial government. Well, shorter-term flooding issues in Beanfate and Estevan after an overnight storm dropped a significant amount of rainfall in a short time frame. The storm overwhelmed Beanfate's pump system, causing some flash flooding. The exact rainfall total still needs to be verified through Environment Canada. The town of Beanfate is applying for provincial disaster assistance, while nearby in Estevan, less rainfall, but still power outage in parts of the city persisted into Wednesday morning. Farm Credit Canada is offering support for prairie producers that are dealing with flooded or saturated fields. FCC says the supports for those facing flood-related financial pressure also apply to delayed field operations caused by severe weather. Customers hard hit by weather events this season are encouraged to contact FCC to find out what options are available. And power has been restored to communities in northeastern Saskatchewan that were all hit by a severe storm on the weekend, leaving thousands in the dark. Fallen trees, high winds brought down power lines over the weekend, causing widespread power outages. Sask Power says it was the highest number of outages Saskatchewan has seen in 4 years, with about 50,000 customers impacted. The village of Aylsham, just southeast of Nipawin, declared a local state of emergency yesterday due to the prolonged power outages and damage to its municipal water system. And we go to Sabine in our weather center to see, do we have anything on the horizon that could cause issues such as flooding?
Well, similar to the systems that we saw come through last night, some of them develop over time, or they strengthen and get stronger as it's moving through. As of right now, we're not seeing any type of active weather or severe weather coming through parts of Saskatchewan, in particular southern Saskatchewan. We did see some scattered precipitation today, and that will continue as we head into tomorrow as well. But temperature-wise and severe weather-wise, nothing right now. We're not seeing any watches or warnings issued either. Temperature is right within that seasonal range, warmed up to about 25 in the Regina area. That is around the average for this time of year. And as we continue to approach the weekend, we will see some of those temperatures getting into the 30s for parts of southern Saskatchewan. As you can see on the radar satellite, we did see, like I mentioned, the scattered precipitation. We will see some more in southern Saskatchewan in the overnight. But heading into Friday is when we see a lot more sunshine arrive, and I'll have all those details coming up in your forecast. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. Saskatchewan's largest active wildfire has grown to more than 15,000 hectares. Last week, there were 71 total active fires. That is down to 44. The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency says crews were able to contain sections of the border fire. That is the largest current burning one in the province, and are now focusing on new areas along with protecting values. The uncontained bud fire on the southeast side of Lac L'Orange is the subject of burnout operations, where forest fuels between a control line and the fire will be ignited as a way of trying to control it. Smoke or flames may be visible from the north and northeast side of the fire. Cabin owners, lodge operators, or other private property owners and traditional land users in the area around the bud fire are advised to check the smoke forecast before they head out. A Saskatchewan man has been ordered to pay $150,000 for statements he made on Facebook. Laura Woodward has more on the defamatory posts and why the plaintiff's lawyer says the case sets a precedent.
In 2020, Jack Harper wrote Facebook posts accusing Deborah Perry, the administrator for the RM of Pleasantdale, of theft and lying. Perry filed suit for defamation, and a judge in Melfort found all the statements to be untrue and defamatory and ruled Harper acted with malice. Quote, his goal of achieving maximum harm to Miss Perry's reputation is evidenced in his extreme language. The judge ordered Harper to pay $150,000 in damages.
You can't be posting on the internet that a person whose job is being trusted by the public to administer a municipality is a thief or a liar or misallocating funds, when those things just aren't true. And there has to be some consequences for that.
Perry's lawyer says the ruling sends a message that defamatory social media posts have consequences. He says municipal administrators in Saskatchewan are frequently targeted online.
She wanted to set a precedent and say, enough's enough.
And here's the kicker. Harper had the option to settle by writing an apology and paying $5,000, but he failed to show up to court 3 separate times. CTV attempted to contact Harper, but were not able to reach him. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan is capitalizing on another tech opportunity with a major expansion in Saskatoon. As Keenan Sorokon tells us, the growth announced today will help fuel technological advances over the next decade.
What was once a 300-square-foot office in Saskatoon is growing to become the world's next home of vital hardware for the technological boom.
From a small startup to becoming the largest tech company in the province, making an impact on the world stage, this is our Made in Saskatchewan story.
Siemens EDA, which started as Solido Design Automation in 2005, is adding another 10,000 square feet to its space in Saskatoon, which will allow the company to grow from 300 to 400 employees. The company is seen as a pioneer in using AI to automate computer chip design. The phone, laptop, or car you use every day has a chip inside of it, and it's software built here that's making them smaller and better performing while using less power.
We are proving that you don't need to be in Silicon Valley to do the work in technology that has a massive global impact.
As the latest tech advancement in Saskatchewan, Premier Scott Moe says capitalizing on a $1 trillion semiconductor industry that is only growing represents an economic opportunity.
That's exciting, I think, for us and as individuals working in this industry, as companies like Siemens EDA, but it's also exciting for us as a province and being part of a broader strategy across Canada.
Siemens Canada says this expansion combines local talent with its global scale and represents its confidence in the Canadian tech sector.
It's always a race. It will continue. The innovation cycles are getting shorter and shorter, so we cannot stop, and we will continue to invest in this business.
Rather than see innovation in faraway places, semiconductors powering the future will be designed and fine-tuned right here in Saskatchewan, the latest home of AI opportunities. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A new retail development is set to start construction in Regina at the site of a former greenhouse. Damian Smith explains what the future holds for the land across from the Lakeview Par 3 golf course.
Even though it's a mostly empty lot right now, Tara Osipov has big plans for this space, a new retail village called Lakeview Landing.
Sort of European, Argarian-style shopping district village where people can come and spend their day. You know, morning coffee, breakfast, shopping through the afternoon.
The $12 million project will be located in the Lakeview neighborhood just off of Pasqua Street and Hill Avenue.
Particularly special and fits really within the Lakeview feel and the aesthetic here. So I think if we were doing somewhere else, I don't know if it would work. I think this parcel of land is really the ideal spot for something like this.
This plot of land was last owned by Dutch growers in 2021. This new plot of land will have 2 acres and 5 new buildings in total.
Well, that was my home for 15 years. It was where my children took their first steps. It was where every family gathering was held.
Sticking to its European roots, Osipov says the area is supposed to have a Scandinavian feel with business opportunities for hospitality, boutique retail, wellness, home and design, and professional services.
The property itself has some challenges. It's an odd-shaped kind of pie lot piece of property. But that being said, it does have a great location. It's very, very close, obviously, to all the new development in Harbour Landing and in the south end of the city.
While it will be warmer to walk from place to place during the summer, Osipov wants the landing to be a year-round experience, just like what Dutch growers did for many years.
It was really festive here, and we want to do the same. So we envision over the years, because it takes a long time to develop things, that we'll have the same type of like Christmas lights hanging, that really like Christmas village during the winter.
Osipov says they'll be starting construction on the first building at the end of September, with others to follow in the new year. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Still ahead, WestJet flight attendants vote in favor of strike action. Plus, the port of Churchill is moving grain again, a sign of bigger things to come. Well, just in time for one of the busiest travel weekends of the year, thousands of WestJet flight attendants could soon be walking off the job. They voted overwhelmingly today in favor of strike action, and at the top of their list of demands, better pay. Andrew Johnson has details of how it could impact your travel plans.
Canadians could be thinking, here we go again. Last summer, it was Air Canada flight attendants on strike. Now their counterparts at WestJet could ground planes as soon as August long weekend. The vote wasn't even close. 99.4% of WestJet flight attendants indicated they're in favor of a strike. More than 4,400 cabin crew members represented by CUPE could legally walk off the job August 2nd. It's estimated up to 75,000 passengers per day could be affected if that happens, which is already on the minds of travelers today at YVR.
It sucks for the travelers, for sure. But I mean, there's also other airlines they could book with.
I'm on the workers' side. I was a Teamster for years.
The union says the main issues are wages, unpaid work, and working conditions. Specifically, CUPE says WestJet flight attendants work on average 35 unpaid hours a month, including during flight delays on the tarmac and during boarding.
The last thing we want to do is go on strike. That's the absolute last thing we want to do. We don't really have a choice. We need unpaid work addressed.
That's the same beef Air Canada flight attendants walked out over last year. They are now partially compensated for work on the ground prior to takeoff. WestJet's CEO says the airline is determined to reach an agreement, and he's confident in finding a workable outcome. If you're flying WestJet around August long weekend, it'll be tough to plan ahead for this. The union only has to provide 72 hours strike notice, so passengers won't know until the end of July whether their relaxing summer vacation could instead go sideways. Andrew Johnson, CTV News at Vancouver International Airport.
Some Conservative MPs say Canada's current approach to bail laws and the justice system has contributed to a rise in violent crime. Today in Regina, Andrew Scheer, surrounded by fellow Conservative MPs, called out Mark Carney's Liberal government.
Crime is an issue that unfortunately touches Canadians in every community, big and small. And despite the rhetoric and the illusion the Mark Carney Liberals are trying to paint about taking action, we know a year into Mark Carney's government that the results just don't match the rhetoric. Numerous pieces of legislation have not only failed to undo previous bad Liberal policy, but they've in fact made it worse, further weakening penalties and sentencing provisions.
The Conservatives are calling for stricter penalties and tougher measures for repeat and violent offenders. The party is holding a town hall on this matter tonight in a Regina Louvain riding. Bank of Canada is holding its key interest rate right where it is at 2.25%. The central bank also expects the Canadian economy to improve despite growth that has flatlined over the past 18 months. The bank's new monetary policy report released today warns that uncertainty driven by U.S. tariffs and the war in the Middle East could knock potential growth off course. Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem spoke about how Canada is holding up amid global uncertainty.
Overall, our growth outlook is similar to our April forecast, but the data we've received since April have increased our confidence that the economy is indeed working through this period of global upheaval. As inflation comes down, there's a risk that it gets stuck above the 2% target. If cost increases and their pass-through are larger than expected, or the economy recovers faster than expected, inflationary pressures will increase. On the other hand, there's a risk that the second quarter pickup in growth is not sustained. The recovery in exports could stall, which would likely weigh on business investment and hiring.
As Canada looks to expand trade beyond the U.S., a northern Manitoba port is preparing for a major milestone. Prairie grain expected to move through the port of Churchill for the first time in 6 years. As Alex Carpa tells us, development supporters say this could strengthen the province's economy and position the port for future growth.
This is the port of Churchill, nestled along the shores of Hudson Bay in northern Manitoba. It's home to the only deepwater seaport in northern Canada.
It's been one of the busiest years in quite some time, and it's certainly the most diversified range of commodities that we'll carry.
Interest in revitalizing the port has increased in recent years as Canada works to diversify its global trade markets and lessen its dependence on the U.S. Now, Prairie grain is set to return to Churchill for the first time time since 2020, a move supporters say could mark a turning point for the northern facility.
Well, this is a significant event in the sense of grain coming back to Churchill, going to global markets.
One economist says restoring grain shipments through the port will provide economic benefits for Manitoba.
It's going to help boost economic development in the north by creating jobs in the Port of Churchill. Absolutely great news for farmers here in Manitoba as well as people in the north.
Earlier this year, Ottawa said it's considering a major expansion of the Port of Churchill that would transform the northern Manitoba facility into a year-round multi-commodity trade hub. Arctic Gateway Group, which owns and operates the port, has also signed agreements with several international ports aimed at expanding exports of Canadian products.
Right now, there's a huge political push to move, to build pipelines and other things to move energy products to markets outside of Canada. And so by showing that we can do it at the Port of Churchill, there's a potential for tremendous growth for Manitoba.
Avery says this year's grain shipments represent an important first step toward making Churchill a larger player in Canada's trade network.
Having trade-enabling infrastructure like the Port of Churchill is critical.
Hoping the port will play a bigger role in Canada's economic strategy. Alex Carper, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A shocking video from Collins, Ontario, north of Sudbury, shows a train being surrounded by wildfire. CN Rail says the crew was able to make it off the train safely, but the train itself remains on the tracks. Freight trains using the corridor have been stopped and staged near Collins. Police say those trains were carrying combustible and flammable materials. And even Americans are following in Saskatchewan's footprints when it comes to time. The U.S. House of Representatives has voted to keep the U.S. on daylight saving time year-round. Proponents say it would spare Americans the semi-annual clock change, but critics say it could have negative economic consequences, especially for farmers. According to the National Conference of State Legislatures, many states are ready to embrace the shift. 19 states have enacted legislation to switch to year-round daylight savings time if Congress does allow it. But the bill also allows states to opt out if they act before it takes effect. In the Middle East, the U.S. carried out a new wave of strikes against Iran this afternoon, the third in 24 hours. Earlier today, Iranian coastal defense systems as well as cruise missile storage and launch sites were attacked over the course of 90 minutes. The Americans say the strikes were designed to further degrade Iran's capability to attack commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. has now also reimposed a naval blockade of Iranian ports. Tehran is threatening to shut off more regional energy exports. Coming up, thanks to the unusual weather, berries are already ripe for the picking in Saskatoon.
Music fans, we've got an exclusive announcement tomorrow, and we're bringing along the Hunter Brothers to help out. We'll unveil the nominees for the CCMA Musical Collaboration of the Year Award.
Another seasonal day in the Queen City as we take a look outside through our sky cam. Currently sitting at 23 degrees with the humidex value of 29. So still warm out there, and that'll continue as we head into this evening. We are starting to see some thunderstorm watches. Now, these are further up in the northwest area of the province. As of right now, again, we're not looking or expecting to see much in terms of active weather as we head into this evening. Could see some pop-up rain, but nothing in terms of any type of storm activity. However, when we have the warm conditions, we could see the development of a thunderstorm. Usually happens a little bit. We have a bit of a warning, but in terms of what's to come, this is what we're looking at. This is a system that's bringing that severe thunderstorm, those watches into the north. In terms of what's to come for this evening, we will see some cloud cover, and we do have some rain, not storm activity. It just looks like some rain from the south that we will see making its way into southern Saskatchewan later this evening. Clouds continuing to stick around, and that is going to change as we head into Friday. But in terms of what's to come tomorrow, we will start our morning with some cloud cloudier conditions for southern Saskatchewan. Still seeing some light rain showers in that southeast corner, but heading into late afternoon Thursday, most of that all clearing up, leaving us with mainly clear conditions into the evening for Thursday, and then that is expected to continue as we head into our Friday, leaving us with sunny conditions for Friday and parts of Saturday. Some parts of south central Saskatchewan could start to see some rain, and you can see that right there, southwest Saskatchewan Friday night. Certainly looking at some storm activity in the Maple Creek Swift Current area, but as that system continues to make its way towards the south central part of the province, we start to see that system weaken and breaking up. So first thing in the morning, we will see a mix of sun and cloud, probably a little scattered precipitation around the Regina area, but that again will clear out, leaving us with mostly a mix of sun and cloud for Saturday. Temperatures tomorrow back into that seasonal range, a little warmer for the north, 27 for La Ronge and La Loche, and for Lloydminster. Prince Albert tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud, 26 degrees, 26 and mainly sunny for Saskatoon. A little cooler in Yorkton, 23 and cloudy, 28 and a mix of sun and cloud for North Battleford in the southwest, back into that seasonal range. Again, a little warmer for Maple Creek, though, 29 with a mix of sun and cloud, 27 for Swift Current, and 26 for Moose Jaw. And the southeast, again, seeing some precipitation tonight, but tomorrow warming up to 26 for Weyburn and Estevan with a mix of sun and cloud. And Assiniboia, 27 and a mix of sun and cloud. For Regina tonight, a warm night again, 17 with, the average being about 11, 12 degrees. So still a warm night tonight. Winds, though, picking up to 45 kilometers an hour. And tomorrow, warming up to 24 with a mix of sun and cloud with the winds up to 30 kilometers an hour. And then it's just continuing to warm up from there as we head into the weekend. So Friday, nothing but sunshine, 30 degrees with a low of 18. Saturday, 30 degrees continuing to stick around, a mix of sun and cloud with a low of 17. And then as we head into Sunday, 28 and nothing but sunshine, but that's where we start to see the winds pick up. So gusting up to about 50 kilometers an hour on Sunday, and the wind staying that high by the time we start our work week on Monday. Sunny, 25 with the wind staying up to 50 kilometers an hour. And this is where we're seeing those temperatures back into seasonal range with the seasonal low and a seasonal daytime high. Staying that way for Tuesday, 25 mainly sunny, 15 is the low, and by Wednesday, a little warmer, but not by too much. 26, a mix of sun and cloud, and the low of a 16 degrees. So as of right now, we could possibly see some scattered precipitation in the overnight, depending for where you are in southern Saskatchewan. But again, we're not looking at seeing any development of any type of severe weather right now.
But that weekend, it's obviously not as hot as it was last weekend with the Creighton and Ryder game, but still decent conditions with the 30 degrees.
Pretty good summer weekend with those temperatures for sure. Yeah, it'll be bearable, much more bearable than what we were dealing with last weekend.
All right, we're not going to be puddles. Thank you very much, Sabine.
You bet.
Well, the odd weather patterns this year have created an unexpected surprise at the Saskatoon Berry Barn. Owners say the berries ripened much faster than they expected, meaning the picking season is now in full swing. As Carla Shinkaruk shows us, time is now of the essence for anyone looking to enjoy the fruits of their labor.
They're just so good.
This Saskatoon berry picker is taking advantage of the suddenly ripe crop at the Berry Barn. She filled over half a bucket in less than half an hour.
You can get a lot of berries. Oh.
Co-owner Grant Erlinson has been here in the Saskatoon berry business for 29 years, and last year was his first bumper crop, but says this season has been one of the most surprising yet.
I was telling everybody, it's going to be 7 to 10 days, and I was such a liar. Yeah, you can see where we've trimmed off. I was just shocked when some of my guys came in and said, the berries are ready. And I said, what? We went out and looked, and sure enough, they had turned in like 2-3 days. Just crazy amount.
It all started with some rain earlier this month.
We got 2 or 3 inches there in a couple days over a weekend. Then we got the hot, humid weather, and things just exploded.
The rapid ripening has created a short window for picking, but it's welcome news for those who are eager to stock up.
They're so plump this year. They're pretty plump last year, but they're much better this year, I'd say.
Erlinson says the earliest they've ever had berries ready was the 3rd week of June, while the latest to start picking was the 3rd week of July.
What we have is very good quality.
This year's crop falls about a week earlier than that late season mark, but this crop doesn't have much time.
And I'm predicting within a week we'll probably be done Saskatoon berries. So if anybody wants to pick Saskatoon berries, you got to get at her, because they're not going to hang around.
Good timing for this group as they have big plans ahead for the Saskatoons they picked.
I'm going to be turning these guys into cupcakes.
Pies, cupcakes, muffins. Might just eat them plain straight.
Carla Shinkrook, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still ahead with the Riders on a bye week, Wes Cates gives his thoughts on the team's 4-1 start in X's and O's.
Here's what's happening in our community. The Classic Car Show is happening in Regina on July 17th at 5 p.m. at the Southland Mall. For more information, you can email FridayNightsClassic@hotmail.com. The community market will be held in Esterhazy on July 17th at 701 Park Avenue. For more details, email Renee Anderson 76@gmail.com. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
Welcome to another edition of X's and O's with Wes Cates. Riders on a bye week with a 4-1 record. So let's take a look at how things have gone so far this season, Wes. And let's start with the offense, where we saw an unbelievable receiving game we're seeing from the Riders right now. Harris is playing extremely well, but Keyshawn Johnson has 479 yards. Schaefer Baker, 471. So they're well on pace for over 1,000. And Emilus is doing well, too. So what is your thoughts on this offense and the way they've been performing early on this season?
Well, I think the offense, it really just comes down to health, Lee. I mean, like you just mentioned, you've got studs at receiver, and then there's kind of some guys waiting.
Audio was a little weird there, so we'll get that fixed. We'll show up in the next segment. Let's go to this really great thing I'm going to talk about now. Lionel Messi and Argentina looking to keep their hopes alive of a repeat title in semifinal number 2 at the World Cup. That's something no country has done since Brazil in 1962. In their way, England, a nation that hasn't lifted a World Cup trophy in 60 years and never will.
Gets into the penalty area. Oh! This one's on target. This one's an absolute beauty.
Down 1-0 late, Enzo Fernandez gets Argentina back in it with one maybe Pickford should have had. Then in stoppage time, Messi crosses to Lautaro Martinez, who's left unmarked. Argentina scores 2 late again and breaks the hearts of English fans. 2-1 the final. So, World Cup final is set. The defending world champs versus the defending Euro champs. Argentina looking to repeat versus Spain, searching for their second title. These two teams haven't played each other in a World Cup game since 1966. Kickoff 1 o'clock Sunday on CTV and TSN. Meanwhile, the third place game goes Saturday at 3 o'clock between France and England. 4 years ago in the quarterfinals, France beat England at the World Cup, although don't expect a lot of passion in this game for both teams. And welcome to another edition of X's and O's with Wes Cates. Riders on a bye week with a 4-1 record. So let's take a look at how things have gone so far this season, Wes. And let's start with the offense, where we saw an unbelievable receiving game we're seeing from the Riders right now. Harris is playing extremely well, but Keyshawn Johnson has 479 yards. Schaefer Baker, 471. So they're well on pace for over 1,000. And Emilus is doing well, too. So what is your thoughts on this offense and the way they've been performing early on this season?
Well, I think the offense, it really just comes down to health, Lee. I mean, like you just mentioned, you've got studs at receiver, and then there's kind of some guys waiting in the wings. We saw a little bit from Weeb. You know, obviously there's some other guys, Canadians too, right? Like Mims and other guys like that. They could definitely step in and help out. And Trevor seems to have his guys that he likes. But at the end of the day, offensively, you've got one of the most accurate and quickest release quarterbacks in the league, if not the most accurate. And then also you've got a strong up front O-line. Everybody seems to be healthy, you know, all the way from Collins over to Yoshi. You know, everybody looks good there. And then and everybody loves A.J. Ouellette at the running back position. So as far as the offense goes, I'm not too worried at all about the Riders.
Yeah, definitely. That if the line allows him to throw the ball as quick as he can, they're going to be good. Defensively, though, your thoughts? It kind of started off a little slow. Don't know if you want to say it was the Dolegala effect, but they looked really good in their last game. And you got a guy like Vauders, who's now tied for the league in sacks with 4 in the CFL. So Are you seeing they're starting to build a little bit? Because there was a lot of changes up front.
Well, I mean, Waters is starting to look like a really good pickup, Lee. I mean, he's really, I think his best year has been like 6 or 7 sacks. So he's on pace to just blow that out of the water and have one of his best careers. And then you look at the way guys have been, you know, handling business. There's obviously been some injuries, and then there's some question marks still about which ends are going to be in the rotation. You've had some DBs get hurt, but it's all seemed to work out in a sense. The linebackers have stepped up, made big plays, had big games. You see last week, you know, you got the big return from Woods. And then Antoine Brooks Jr. has been making big plays. He's the one that caused the fumble that was a scoop and almost scored. And then also he hustled and got the block that sprung Woods. So I think the linebacking core has been keeping that defensive group together. Secondary's been they've had a lot of bodies, so they've been able to rotate guys and kind of go with the hot hand, so to speak, back there in the secondary. So it's really looking like the defense that was a question mark at the beginning of the season is coming together and stepping up and performing above expectations so far.
Let's talk about special teams. That might be the biggest concerns. We've now got 2 returners that went down and now on a 6-game injured list. Most recently, Matthew Sexton. Maybe it might be Daniel Weave that's going to have to do this. But what are your thoughts on that? And also Alex Hale, 10 for 13. The furthest field goal he's hit is 38 yards. And in that last game, they decided to punt instead of go for about a 48-yard field goal. What are your concerns with Alex Hale, or do you have it?
Well, I mean, not right now, Lee. He's young. I mean, obviously he's a global player, so he's helping with the roster that way, giving you an extra body, at least on offense or defense, right? That way with the global rules. So I would say you kind of let him work through some hiccups. Hopefully halfway through the season he's cleaned some of that up. Obviously he's not somebody that you're definitely trusting in right now, but we've got time. The offense is scoring enough touchdowns and the defense is playing well enough that we can work with Alex right now, give him a little grace period. But if it comes down to the wire later on in the season, maybe you think about bringing somebody in. But he has a big enough leg, and I think maybe he just needs some good coaching, and he should be able to work his way through it.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see. By the way, Brett Lothar, 100% so far in Ottawa. It's the way it goes, doesn't it? It's just the way it goes.
That way.
Yeah. Well, bye week, so not much to talk about next week other than getting ready for that game versus the Edmonton Elks, who will likely determine who is in first place in the West Division. We'll talk about that game on another edition of X's and O's.
X's and O's, brought to you by Campion College at the University of Regina.
Still ahead, an RCMP tradition is open to the public this month.
Let's take a look at your rural forecast for tomorrow. Many areas expecting to stay within seasonal, if not a little warmer or a little cooler for Wynyard, but not by that much. 23 tomorrow and a mix of sun and cloud. 24 and cloudy for Hudson Bay. 24 with a mix of sun and cloud for Melfort. And then we're starting to warm up closer to the west here. 26 and mainly sunny for Watrous. 26 and a mix of sun and cloud for Spiritwood. 27 mainly sunny for Meadow Lake and Lloydminster. And Outlook seeing a little bit more cloud cover down there. But Kindersley 28 and mainly sunny. Closer to the southern border, much of the same. Assiniboia is expecting some fog patches first thing in the morning. 27 is the high. 27 mainly sunny for Rockland and East End Cypress. 29 for Leader and Maple Creek. 28 for Coronach and Rosetown. 24 for Lumsden, Pilot Butte, Broadview. 23 for Kenora and Carlisle. 25 degrees. Taking a closer look at Beachy, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel. Tomorrow warming up to 27 degrees, seeing mainly sunny conditions. Actually, could also see some fog patches early in the morning. Mainly sunny throughout the day, but also muggy. 27 is the daytime high, but we'll feel closer to 33 degrees by late afternoon with the winds up to 20 kilometers an hour.
The RCMP Academy in Regina is once again welcoming the public to its annual sunset ceremonies. The summer tradition features precision foot drills, a field gun drill, and a ceremonial lowering of the Canadian flag at sunset. Tuesday's event also served as the backdrop for a major announcement about the 2028 Can-Am Police Fire Games going to Regina, with proceeds supporting Special Olympics Saskatchewan.
The partnership with Special Olympics Saskatchewan is such a cool one. You know, the Can-Am Police Fire Games and Special Olympics Saskatchewan share similar values. The two organizations support each other, and so it's really cool that we could announce this and that we could announce it today at the sunset ceremony.
The final RCMP sunset ceremony is set for July 21st. All events free to the public. Butter churning back at the Western Development Museum in Yorkton. It's not the only activity visitors could try today. There was also ink making and paper quilting. The latter is part of the Friendship Quilt, telling the story of the WDM visitors throughout the years. This year, there was even a blacksmith demonstration.
We have had an amazing turnout this year. We had more than we could have ever expected, so we're pretty excited.
Following the Museum Fun Day, Canada Day festivities began at 4 o'clock and at 7. They were rescheduled on Canada Day due to weather. Farm markets, let's take a look at the canola street price, up $7.60 to $740.45 per ton. Futures price up $19 to $792.40 per ton. Amber Durum wheat, it is $285.20 per ton, while red spring wheat went up $3.24 to $300.38. Yeah. Let's go with that. Feed barley, $251.59 per ton, and flax is $630.54 per ton. Prices courtesy of Bunge and Ice Futures Canada. The markets. TSX up 95 points. The Dow Jones up by 150. As for that Canadian dollar, it did drop slightly, a little more than 0.1% to 71.22 cents U.S. On the commodity front, gold up $7.70. West Texas Intermediate crude up 26 cents, while Western Canadian Select crude was up 88 cents. And gas in Regina is currently $1.68.9 cents per liter.
More than 99% voted in favor of a strike, which could happen as early as August 2nd. WestJet has 4,400 flight attendants. The union that represents them says flight attendants do about 35 hours of unpaid work a month and that wages aren't keeping up with inflation. Both are issues on the table. WestJet CEO says the airline's determined to reach an agreement with its workers. The Canadian Real Estate Association says it expects a 1.4% drop in home sales this year. In April, it had expected sales to increase by 1% this year. But higher inflation, brought on by rising oil prices, fuels speculation that borrowing rates could rise, keeping buyers on the sidelines. The Bank of Canada kept the lending rate unchanged today. Governor Tiff Macklem says he expects inflation to ease as oil prices come down. But a lot depends on how long the war in the Middle East carries on. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up tonight, we've got Master Chef, followed by The Rainmaker, the rebuild inside the Montreal Canadiens. It's not at the same time, though, as The Rainmaker, so you'll figure it out.
Oh.
Better programming than we had this afternoon. More than 40 years at one job is quite an accomplishment worth celebrating. And former McDonald's employee Brenda Smith had a large contingent out to celebrate her official retirement today.
Friends past and present, young and old, gathered at the Victoria Avenue and Park Street McDonald's to wish Smith well in her retirement after 43 years on the job. Smith says she was excited to see how many people came out to congratulate her, but is ready to enjoy retirement. Following her retirement party, she was taken out for supper by some friends to continue the celebration.
43 years. She's probably seen everything. You can see, like, the weirdest orders,
oh, yeah,
wrong PIN numbers, everything.
And some of your morning Saskatchewan's team helped put in a shift at Tim Hortons today.
For $3. Can I put you down for 10? How about 2?
Yeah, Camp Day back with 100% of proceeds from hot and iced coffee donated to the Tim Hortons Foundation camps. You can also purchase special bracelets, and some locations have camp donuts. Tim Hortons has been putting on the fundraiser since 1991, helping send kids to camp. That's our morning crew.
They were hyped up on the caffeine.
Yep, usually right after the cast, they're hyper.
I mean, you and I did that once. Working back there is a bit stressful.
It is. It is.
So they all do a great job.
Yeah, sometimes when I do something like that, I'm a bit of a Debbie Downer, but it suits me sometimes.